Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Allen's Day. Allen's Day is starting out a little chilly. January in near Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's a little cold. We got no snow though. That's a good thing. Time to start my day. It's Saturday morning. A few things on the list. I still got that deer ding on there from the truck yet. Still working on getting an estimate and getting figure out what I'm going to do for a bumper, if I'm going to put one of those bigger cow catchers on there to keep the deer out of the grill. That's next week's project. But for today, same old. I got to get out there and get some hay out to the horses here, and then make my way into the garage and figure out what's on the list. And it's sort of a big list. It's good to have a list, because if you don't have a list of things to do, then you're in trouble. So let's get the horses fed. They're all out here waiting. So we got Summer and Bodie, Stetson, and Zero. They're all getting pretty hungry, and then when it's this cold out, it was down below zero last night. We feed them as much hay as they want to eat, because the hay is actually their furnace that keeps them warm. So let me get them fed. Well, I'll meet you in the garage and sort of get a game plan for what's going on today. Well, where do we begin? Let me just give you a little quick walk through the garage here and show you what's on the list, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to start tackling on the list. But let me just show you what we got going on here. We got our kittens. Yes, that's Taz Yellow 1 and Yellow 2. That's the big reason we keep the garage here heated the entire winter, is so that the cats stay in here, keep ahead of the mice. They're out all summer, all winter. That's where they stay, and they help me out here. So what we've got on the list. Gene's trailer is still in here. We went through a few items we got to get taken care of on there. Got another project over here. Haven't even opened the box yet. That's going to be our crawl space buggy for down in Jamestown, Tennessee, the house build, for scooting around down in that crawl space instead of using your knees. We're going to make a buggy. What's on the short list I think we're going to do is, back in this corner here, I've got a floor jack that I bought in 1987. At the time in 1987, that was considered a major investment, and it took me months and months to save up the money to go down to Sears and get myself a floor jack. So we got problems with it. So what we got to do is went on Amazon, and I bought myself a rebuild kit. Hopefully it's the correct one here for that jack. I guess after 35 plus years, I think the seals, I think they deserve a little break. Next on the list, continuing on, we still have Alyssa and Rachel's Divas Dive Bar that they're setting up. That's going to be a trailer that they're setting up for rental. Rent it out to family gatherings or weddings or whatever they want, that they'll have that set up where they can serve refreshments out of there. And here's all of the parts and pieces that have to go with this. So you saw in the last episode, Alyssa and Rachel were tearing it apart. We got a little bit farther on here. Got a few floorboards out of there. We got all the skin off of there. It just kept going and going and going and going. And here's what it ended up to be, which is a good thing, because now you got a good solid structure to work with. So this is going to be pretty solid. And there again, this is 30 years old, so it deserves a little upgrade on it. So got that on the list. The Pontiac got bumped down the list about 3 notches. That's only been on the list for about 4 years. But the next item on the short list is the planer. This is for running wood through it, through this area here, and for salvaging wood is what I use it for. So these are old deck boards, and I run them through the planer, clean them up, and use them for construction and different projects. So having a planer, it pays for itself in what you save in wood, or be able to reclaim wood. So this particular planer, it's Bailey, and bought it in 2018. And it's an IP 156. The planer works pretty good, except there's blades inside. At the time I purchased it, I said, no, I don't need the one with the carbide drum on there, because that was at the time about $1,000 upgrade. Well, I needed the carbide drum. The blades on the drum for the planer do not work for me. They heat up, they wear out, they're just no good for me. So we purchased, and I'll have to open the box up here, but this is a drum that goes on the top with removable carbide teeth. We're going to see how that does. But that little box was about $1,500, and then I'm going to have a half a day's labor putting it in there. Maybe I shouldn't have been so cheap back in 2018 and paid the $1,000 and got the top of the line to begin with. I never learned, but I try. A few other projects in here. Always got some woodworking. I got all the trim work for the Tennessee project that we got to do. Made a couple of box covers for up on some electrical that's going up near the ceiling. So it never ends. Let's get started on that jack so we can, maybe that's going to be an easy win for today. Now it's just on the teardown, and I like to document all the parts and pieces, so when I put things back together, hopefully it's goes back together and it works. So document what you got going on. Make sure you got yourself a tub to put all your parts in so they're not bouncing around the bench. And the biggest tip that I can have for today is cardboard in the shop. These are 4x4 pieces of cardboard from a packaging outfit. Usually get half a skid of those and use those around. They pay for themselves 10 times over when it comes time to clean up. So anytime you're working on a vehicle or a messy project, throw some cardboard down. That's the tip for today. Well, let me continue to take this apart now that I documented a few things here, and we'll see what we got to do to put it back together. And just like that, I got it disassembled. There's the carcass. Here's the pump that I'm after. This is what's got to rebuild the seals and everything in here yet. we'll start tearing that apart and see what that looks like. But let me get some brake clean out and scrape and clean that. I got to put a respirator on to do that brake clean. That's some nasty stuff. So anytime you got the brake clean, respirator, a lot of ventilation, it's better for you, I think. So let me get that going. The last piece that's got to come out of here is this pump assembly here. I decided to take everything outside so I don't stink up the garage for all day. So I sprayed some engine degreaser on there first and brake cleaner. And I'll just do one part at a time. It's cold out here, I gotta hurry. Well, we got the pump out. So I guess all we got to do is just take everything apart and put the parts that look like them back in there. We'll sort of see. One part out. Let me dump all the oil out of here. And I'll just keep taking it apart and see what happens. Well, that looks like this big cap has to come off here. So, get the big boy crescent wrench out. I already broke it loose. I had to use my favorite hammer. And that is a sludge hammer with the handle busted off. And this fixes a lot. Well, let me get this off here. See what parts are in there. Well, let's see what we got. We got sort of a piston deal in here. And it looks like we've got some 35-year-old oil. Oh, I think that's the seal that we're after, is right there. So, let me keep on tearing this thing apart. This part looks pretty straightforward. There's a snap ring right on the end here. Took it off with the snap ring pliers. Just here, make sure it doesn't go flying. And voila. Part comes off of there. Make sure you get it, pay attention to the direction of which way it's going. And reach into the bag here. And this looks like the same part. We'll sort of see what it does. And I got one O-ring here. And simple, looks like that part's done. Old seals out of it, new seals going in. I got it started. That's in place. Now the O-ring, this is a special little O-ring pick. Grabs that out of there, pull that there, match it up with the out of the kit. Well, that's ready to go back in. And here's what I'm going to use. I don't have any hydraulic jack oil, but I think this is going to work. If you Google it on the internet, you're going to get all kinds of different answers, but this is one of the answers they came up with. So we'll see how this works. And Lucas, it's a pretty good brand. So let's give that a shot once we get her back together. Well, just let's drop her back together. This just goes in there. You can see what's in there. No moving parts, no seals that I see. Well, let me get that in the big vise, get that tightened up, and then figure out all these little parts over here. So we're making progress. Now let's get the pressure relief valve. Got everything all cleaned off. Drops in there. Here's the spring. Drops in there. And this is the adjuster screw. And I'm going to have to adjust this. Well, I'm going to have to play it by ear on how to adjust this. I did screw it in 2 turns before I took it out. So I'll just back it off 2 turns. There we go. We got that in. Now the cover to go over the top of that, which there must be some fancy seal over here that I should be using here. I don't know. That looks like it there. We'll give it a shot. Now the next part. Let me pull this apart. The next part here. Let me pull this apart. This is the shutoff valve on there. And this is one that had a little ball in there. So let me see if I can match that up here. That looks like the same size. The old one's probably just fine, but we'll put the new one in there. This drops in there. You can see it down in there. And then the plate that has a square hole on or square on here, so that just keeps this positioned in there when this rides up and down to push the ball and shut it off. Another new part. Put a little hydraulic fluid in there. I think I got this figured out. You got to make sure when you tighten this nut that it still turns, because this is your release on here. And it's an 1 3/16. Crow's foot and a breaker bar, those make real nice wrenches. You can get these off of Amazon, a set of those up to 2 inches, and they're relatively inexpensive. I think everybody needs one of those for Christmas. Well, let me dig at these O-rings and seals, see if we can match something up on the table, and get those off the list. This is the seal that I took out of there. I didn't know there was a frame in there. I had to put my readers on to get at that one to see what was in there, so I got her out. New seal. Let me get that pressed in there. I got my new O-ring in. Now I got it together. Now I got to fill it with oil. That's a pretty small hole to be dumping that jug into, so I need a funnel. So I got a old bottle. I'm not a hoarder, but I did save it. My funnel. Drop that in there and start pouring. It's going to be a long process. We won't bore you with this. Now it's time to get it reassembled. This is no restoration project, so I cleaned it up a little bit, but this is as good as you're gonna get. So let me get all the parts put back together, and then we're gonna test it to see how this thing works. So we got it all rebuilt. Here's the old parts I took out of there. I'm gonna save those. They sent extra parts. They must be for other jacks. Just in case I need those. We got 38 years out of this one. 38 years again, I'll give her a rebuild. Just remind me. Let's see if it works. This has been the backup one that I've been using here. Now you know why I wanted to get the other one going. Put the big one in here. And it works. And I will leave this sitting on there while I go take my lunch. That's it for today. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for sticking around. We'll get to that planer drum on there. That'll be the next video. So, bonus footage, Taz. Thank you for watching Alan's Day. Life is about making choices. Some things are already perfect. Some things you may choose to upgrade. This channel will show you both. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again.